Ready, spaghetti? Kia ora guys, welcome back to the Wholesome Half Hour. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm Sirens, Kira.
And this week is a little bit again of an odder episode, if you will. It's nothing specifically to do with school or school related. We kind of put up a question on our Instagram story, I think it was like earlier today, which is Friday for all you guys watching this on Monday.
Yeah, when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
Record in advance because technology.
We have that ability. Anyway, so
everything you see on the internet's fake.
we put up on our story asking you guys how you felt your 2019 was going so far and what kind of things that you either wanted to do or want to do or are thinking of wanting to do in your year outside of school to help you feel accomplished. And the reason that I sort of chose it this week was because I feel that there is a lot that school makes up most of like a lot of our lives at the moment. Being at school for like six plus hours a day. It can feel very like all-encompassing of your life, and I think quite often we all need a bit of a reminder that there are other things that go on outside of school that make us who we are, and there are other things going on outside of grades and getting sucked into NCEA or IB or Cambridge or whatever system you are under that can help you feel accomplished outside of that realm, because I think success and accomplishment is so closely related to that, and I think that that is a problem in of itself, because I think it doesn't allow for people to think sometimes that they can accomplish things without having some sort of gratification for it or some number that tells them how well they did in something that they're pursuing.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's one of those things where like, so like a lot of like people like often like derive their like happiness from like how successful they feel, and depending on where you find that success and where you look for that, it's one of those things where like if you do well at school, you like get good grades and like you're happy because of that, it's fine. Yep. But if you don't get good grades at school but you still care about grades and you're unhappy because of that, like that's not an ideal situation.
Yeah.
And the answer isn't necessarily just to improve your grades, like the answer is to change where you get that sense of accomplishment and like derive that happiness from.
Yeah. And I think there are a lot of things that we can be doing outside of school that can contribute to feeling accomplished, and that very much does tie into, like Sirens was saying, into our ideas of self-worth. And I think sometimes if we get bogged down by school, we can start feeling a bit like crappier about ourselves because we feel that our identity is so closely linked to our schooling.
It's a very easy like trap to fall into, right? Because you're at school for like the majority of the useful part of the day at least, and it's kind of like a key metric that like you see people around you like talk about and stuff as well. But like it's definitely worth realizing that there's like, I don't know, there's just a lot more to life than like school. Yeah. And think about it this way, like even discount sleep, because if you're asleep, you're asleep. Even then, you're spending maybe a third of your week at school, maybe even a bit less than that, once you account for weekends, maybe a quarter. Yeah. So you've got this like 2/3 or 3/4 of your life that for a lot of people, like they're just ignoring in the assessment of themselves.
Yeah.
And they're like focusing it like the entire assessment of themselves based on this like quarter of their life, which isn't even going to be a thing in another like 2 or 3 or 4 years time.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is we spend a lot of time investing ourselves into a temporary state of existence, as weird and abstract as it sounds. Schooling is only a temporary phase of your life, still the tutorial phase of your life. Like,
have you seen, there's like this YouTube video where
Casually
like
explained?
Maybe they like explain life as like a video game.
Yeah,
levels.
Casually
oh,
explained.
okay, yeah. Good video. I recommend it.
It's a very good video. Check out their channel.
But yeah, you're still in the tutorial phase.
And like
of life.
This guy?
I know this guy, but I'm not 100% sure. It seems like the kind of thing you do. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Moving on.
So we did put it up a bit late, so we don't have like a heck of a lot of responses and stuff, and that's absolutely fine. I think a lot of these are more, I think, really cool things that I think I would really like to just like discuss and flesh out and kind of maybe bring to the forefront of some of the people who are watching who maybe haven't considered it or any of these kind of things. So somebody said, also we asked, how is 2019 going for you guys so far?
Yeah.
And for the most part, people were pretty positive, which is really great to see. There were a few less positive ones, and for some reason they all seem bio-related. I'm not really sure why, but that was kind of something that existed.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So, I mean, for those whose 2019 is going really well so far, congratulations, and I hope that you can keep up whatever it is that's keeping you feeling good about your 2019. And for all those who aren't feeling super awesome about their 2019 so far, for whatever reason, schooling aside, I think, like, have a look at, the things that are getting you down, or the things that are really bothering you. And really, like, as much as we want to avoid negative things in our life, as we're all very aware, the more we neglect something, the bigger it's very likely to become, and the sooner you can address the problems that are getting you down or bothering you for whatever reason, I think it does ultimately lead to a better outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess there's sort of two approaches to this, right? So you have to consider what is getting you down, and so, like, what is it? And then you have to, like, and then either you have to decide to, like, make some sort of change in that regard, or you have to, like, in some cases, like, it might be like something you can't change or something that's not worth changing, in which case you need to reframe your mindset towards it. And they're slightly different, right? Because, like, I don't know, say you want to like improve your, like, fitness level a bit, you want to, like, go walking more often, something like that, then you might want to, like, make a change to, like, your routine and create a habit and do something towards, like, changing that. But then say you've got say your parent is, like, you're finding them, like, frustrating to deal with, right? Not an uncommon thing at high school. Instead of, like, trying to, like, change them, try to, like, change the way you, like change your mindset towards them, and, like, change the way that you approach the situation and the way you interact with them. And by changing your mindset, even though, like, the actual situation may not change, you can feel a lot more positive about it.
Yeah, or at least, like, trying to gauge, like, an understanding of where that comes from.
Yeah, definitely in that scenario, like, trying to understand where they're coming from, and like just trying to, like, realize that they're not trying to, like, wind you up or, like, stress you out or, like, having, like, whatever effect it may actually be having, and like, try disconnect from that a little bit.
Yeah, just on that parent note though, like, reframing doesn't necessarily mean tolerating.
No.
Like, if you were finding that, like, parents were putting, like, a lot of pressure on you, that's not to mean that you just say, oh, well, like, I know that they do it because they want me to do well because they love me, and just, like, end that thought there, because it's going to be annoying regardless of where it comes from. Like, I think knowing how to address it, understanding that it comes from a positive place but has a somewhat, like, maybe negative manifestation, acknowledging it definitely, like, helps, but I think at the same time, like, if it was so I think detrimental to you, or really, like, beginning to impact you, I think that is when like, you are in your right sort of to bring something up and to say something and like, open that kind of dialogue. Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Sweet. Okay.
How's life? How are you?
Yeah.
How are you feeling this morning, this afternoon?
Whenever you happen to be watching
midnight. I wonder if anyone watches the show. I wonder if anyone watches this show at midnight. We can probably find that out.
I mean, our good Lord and Saviour Google probably could tell us in some way, shape or form. Yeah, we love our Google overlords.
We love everyone. I love Jacinda Ardern as well.
She's
actually watching over here. got the little, tap into the little security camera, GCSB, how's it going?
FBI guy, send me some good names today.
I have a GCSB pen. I got it in school. I just found it one day. It's a fun fact for you. I also checked if it was bugged, but it wasn't.
Oh my god, for anyone that doesn't know, GCSB is the New Zealand equivalent of a spy agency as far as New Zealand
GCSB, Government Communication Security Bureau, they do spying externally, but also some internally now as well.
They don't want you to know that.
They are the equivalent of the one that Edward Snowden worked for, its name I can't remember. NSA? Yeah, they're the New Zealand equivalent of the NSA.
I don't even know what the NSA is.
National Security Agency. They also do spying.
That's such an ironic name.
Should we become spies? Can we do an episode of making a career out of spying?
Sure.
You can become a private investigator. That's quite interesting. I used to know a guy who was a private investigator.
Hit him up.
I still know him, actually. He's just not a private investigator anymore. He's a real estate agent now. Moving along.
Moving on.
What do you derive? What are we calling this episode?
I don't know. That's for you to figure out later.
What makes you feel accomplished?
Sure. Okay. So another one that we got from someone, and I thought this was really, really worth mentioning, and I know it's something that you'll probably have a good yarn about, and I think it's something that you've probably mentioned on previous episodes before as well, is improving your mental health. And I think that this is something that is so important, especially if you do know that you do struggle with mental health in whatever way, shape or form. Because, while this will ultimately have an impact on your schooling life, but it is so all-encompassing to you as a person, and every facet.
Just it literally affects the way you perceive and interact with every facet of life. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of people. So there's kind of two steps to improving your mental health. Firstly, you need to be sufficiently self-aware to realize that something might be going right, or you're not feeling as happy as you could be, or whatever. So you need to be aware of what's going on, which isn't always easy at first. That takes a couple of years in itself to properly understand.
Yeah.
And then once you have that understanding, or are starting to have that understanding, you need to realize that you can actually do things to improve the way you feel, improve your mental health in general, but improve the way you feel day to day, and just feel a lot less anxious or less bogged down or less stressed, etc., etc. Because I feel a lot of people they realize they feel a certain way, but then they don't really do anything to fix it, or they say they're stressed, but they don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have to feel that way, and there are a lot of things that you can do to feel less stressed or feel less anxious, or feel like you have a more positive outlook towards life. We did a full episode on that last year. It's called 5 tips. I'll put the link somewhere. Just search anxious, feel less anxious, 5 tips to feel less anxious, something like that. I can't remember.
Smooth.
The police are coming to arrest us now.
Does that pick up on the mic?
Yeah.
So everyone enjoy some Sirens for a second. We'll take an intermission. Awesome. Cool. They're gone. So, yeah, and I think improving mental health is just so worthwhile as well. It's something that if you can gain the skills to help cope, or you can gain the ability to recognise the cognitions that are going on, that are making you uncomfortable, that is so helpful for you. And again, it does boil down to being able to recognise when something isn't going to lead to a good thing. If you recognise that something is becoming increasingly stressful, bogging you down, or anything like that, really engaging with that and making a change to it. I know for a lot of students that is sort of directly related to school life in some way, shape or form. But if it does, I guess, sort of escalate, then obviously it is going to bleed into everything else as well.
Yeah, one more thing I want to add is in regards to mental health. I don't know, a lot of people either actually do or claim to fall into this category where they like care a lot about like other people, which is fine. It's like a good thing to like care about other people. But then I don't know, I've seen like sometimes people use that as like a like cite that as a reason for like not spending enough time like doing stuff to improve themselves.
Yeah.
And like realize that by like improving yourself and making like making yourself the best version of yourself, like you're actually going to have a positive impact on the people around you. Like people around you are going to feel a lot more like, if you're like less stressed or less anxious, like the people around you are going to feel a lot more relaxed and at ease when they interact with you.
Yeah, but that is something as well that boils down to, I think, external versus internal validation. Like, I think, again, like it's not a bad thing to care about others and want to do a lot of other things for others. But if you are doing that because that is how you think you'll be favourably perceived, then it's not always coming from a purely like good place, because if that's how you seek your validation, if that's how you feel that you can play a role within like a group of friends or your school, or your community, or family even. I think sometimes we have to stop and recognise that there is a line with it, and I think that it does become a very blurred line, and it's very easy to get dragged into things, and ultimately that can break you down as well. And I think you are like so right in saying that helping yourself does often help others as well. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely a big believer in that, because I think I don't know, it's not always apparent on first glance, and I don't think people realize it, but like definitely like if you like improve yourself, if you're like just like there's so many little things you can do to improve yourself without like saying anything about what you're doing to other people, that will like have a very positive impact on like the people around you and the way they perceive you and the way your interactions go and the strength of your relationships, etc., etc.
I think with that as well, though, it's one of those things where I think we sometimes, and I think especially like younger people as well, are sometimes overly aware of how they impact others, and I think. Well, it's good to be it's good to be considerate. 100%. It's good to be considerate of how your actions will impact others. You know, and that's incredibly important. Like, I don't discount that in any way, shape, or form. But there is definitely a line where it can be like overly conscious of other people, their responses, their thoughts, their cognitions about you or about anything else. And if you find yourself sacrificing yourself, any part of yourself, for the sake of others, that is in itself a sign that you shouldn't have to do that as well. Yeah,
like no, definitely. Like you shouldn't care too much about what other people think.
Yeah.
Either like it's not like if you do like a lot of people. Yeah, it's that whole thing about like being self-conscious and stuff. But like not caring about what other people think within reason is like quite important and can actually leave you a lot happier. Like just like not worrying so much about like little things and big things as well, but like, you know, like not worrying so much about, you know, what other people think of the way you dress, or like what other people, like if you enjoy like, I don't know, like if you enjoy like swimming every morning, like not worrying about the fact that other people complain that you smell like chlorine when you come to school every day.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is always a line between being considerate of others and then sacrificing yourself for others.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's often recognised enough. I think a lot of the time, the way it sounds or the way society projects it, it always seems like you can never give enough.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, I don't know, a lot of, like, just know what makes you like happy, or like, and like consider that offset against like, are you like limiting the amount you do that because of the way others perceive you? Like, there's no way, like, I know like around, like I like to work a lot and I work at like weird hours, and like people are like, why are you working at like 7 o'clock on a Friday? It's like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care that you think I should be doing something different.
Yeah.
And there's no like negative side effect of like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. That was our mental health rant for this week. Be tuned for next week because we'll be sure to do it again.
Yeah, we should make an intro for it. That would be great.
I like that. So a few people also mentioned wanting to be more involved in school life. So that's obviously not just purely academics. And someone even told us that they were feeling really nervous at the moment because their school prefect speech is today, which is a Friday. So if you're watching this on a Monday, I hope it went well. I hope you didn't do something really bad on stage.
Here's another thing.
Another thing.
I read this recently and I thought this is so true. Like, we get so worried about, like, you know, when we, like, stuff up and do something wrong, we, like, worry about how, like, other people, like, perceive it.
Yeah.
But, like, think about, like, anyone you know, like, any of your close friends or, like, family members, and, like, try to think of, like, think of 5 embarrassing things they've done. And, like, you often can't...
I've definitely got an exception to that rule.
No, just hear me out. Okay. You often can't think of 5 things for most people. And even if you can, they never, like, you don't dwell on it for, like, the rest of your day. You just, like, think about it and go, oh, no. For, like, normal people. Maybe not, like, your top 5 closest people, but, like, the next 5 down.
Yeah. I think, it is one of those things that we are so much more aware of ourselves than everyone is of us, and we always feel like
in the school context, like 95% of the people there would in 6 months' time would not remember if you even like had a full-on breakdown during the speech.
Yeah,
like it's just not that relevant to them. Like people,
we aren't in like a crappy American high school story where they're like, oh my god, did you see so and so did this thing like 3 years ago?
I hate them.
Like. Nobody ain't be going through your Twitter thread trying to find some racist thing you said 6 years ago. Gang.
Do kids use Twitter in New Zealand? Is that a thing?
It shouldn't be. I don't know. Twitter seems so redundant to me. Except for like the memes that I get through other things that people just posted on Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason Twitter seems relevant in my life in any way, shape or form. I think some kids do use it, but it's not nearly as big as like IG is. I think probably the biggest.
It's very popular in like the political and like journalism circles.
Do you have a Twitter?
Yeah, but I don't use it much.
Exactly.
I go on like once a month. Usually we're directed through some like other thing.
Yeah. So it's not by your own choice?
No. I used to use it more, but like, I don't know, it's just not that... I don't consume that much news these days, so there's not really a reason to be there.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, the with like being involved in school life and stuff like that, I think, if for anyone who is like on the fence about joining the choir or joining drama group or wanting to go for a leadership position or any of that kind of stuff where you are becoming more involved in school life, I think one thing that I would just always say is just do it. Like, if you are hesitant about, like, joining a sports team, like, just do it.
What's the downside? Like, what's the, like, worst case scenario?
Exactly.
It's like nothing.
Yeah. I was incredibly involved in my school in intermediate and then just did nothing in high school. And I kicked myself every year for not having even, like, applied to do anything. And I don't know why I didn't. I'm lazy. I mean, yeah, okay, I'm lazy. That's why I didn't do it. But I think a lot of the times as well, if it's not, like, laziness, some of our inhibitions are around, like, oh, I really want to do this thing, but, will other people think I'm, like, nerdy for it or something like that? And it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
if you
who
enjoy
cares?
it, just
like,
do it.
actually, yeah, like...
I mean, you know, besides, like, murder, but, like, you know. I don't think there's a club for that at school, though.
Maybe there is. Maybe you were invited. Maybe it was like an elite group.
An elite group.
But like, yeah, and you never know, like, especially if you want to join something like that you enjoy doing. Like, I know I don't do it anymore, just for the record. I like to make that very clear, because if my boss hears this, he'll be like, I don't know, he just hates it. In high school I did like debating, and like
I did debating.
Yeah. William's not a fan.
I mean, William does a lot of things that I don't like, so I think like the playing field's pretty level.
And like, so like when you do stuff like that, you're like more likely to meet like like-minded people.
Yeah, exactly.
And like through that, like I met like 2 one or two or three of my like closest friends like still now, and like had I not met them, we wouldn't have like made videos and stuff in school, and had I not done that, like I wouldn't have this job and like blah blah blah. Like meeting like-minded people and like associating with like-minded people through like groups like that is like a really like powerful thing.
I think with that as well, like everyone knows that, like everyone's got that one mate or knows that one person that is involved in like everything, but like just genuinely enjoys it and doesn't make it look lame. Like they're involved and they're just like they're still like cool about it, like, and like you think they are cool because they make something that seems lame look cool. Do you know what I mean? Like you always have that one mate that's so like unapologetically themselves or unwaveringly like into the things that they're into, whether that be like debating or playing an instrument or playing a sport or anything.
And like you probably don't think they're that weird.
No, exactly. And I think that we are overly aware that other people might judge us for the choices we make or the affiliations that we make, when really like people just don't care. Like just do you. Like so for anyone that is on the fence about joining something this year and they want to, but they might feel that for whatever reason they can't do it. And if you do find yourself giving yourself excuses just not to like commit to something, and you're listening to this is the Lord speaking, and he's telling you to just do it.
We're nodding. If you're listening, we're nodding.
Oh yeah. I forget that sometimes it's just pure audio. Yeah. Cool. That's my rant on that one. Okay. Another one that people mentioned that they wanted to do this year was getting a job, which I think is really good. I am constantly surprised at how little students in Wellington work. Like high school students in Wellington work. Yeah. It's so bizarre to me.
Nah, like getting a job's like definitely like a worthwhile thing, and like when you like move to like uni and you want a job, if you already have had a job, it's easier to get another job because that's how it works.
I don't know if it's because this is like a higher socioeconomic area than where I'm from, and like so they don't have to
I think it's like a combination of that and like culture. Like like if you see all your friends work, you're more likely to work, and if you don't see all your friends work, you're less likely to work.
If getting a job is something that you want to do this year, 100% go for it. And just keep applying. Like I can feel like
don't feel sad that like 20 places like didn't get back to you. Like just keep doing it.
Just keep going, man.
Because you only need one to say yes. Like it doesn't matter if you like asked 100 places. You only need one to say yes.
Exactly.
Like, you just keep going. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think getting your first job is definitely always the hardest.
Yeah.
And after that, it definitely is easier. But you just have to keep persevering with it. And everyone...
There's no, like, secrets.
Nah, there's so much of it that boils down to luck. So much of it boils down to, like
timing.
Who you know. Like, and it is one of those things that I definitely think high school is such a good time to actually begin to get some work experience because, let's be real, you have the time. Like, and it's...
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, no matter what you say.
No matter what anybody...
I don't care if you play rugby and, like... play an instrument.
That's a you problem.
And like play ultimate frisbee as well. Like you have time.
You have time. Don't you dare tell me otherwise. If you just don't want to work, that's fine. Like we're not beefing with anyone in the company.
Yeah,
like,
but don't say like if you don't want to work. Like say you don't want to work. Don't say I don't have time. Have time.
Exactly. And the good thing is as well at high school, like essentially it's like just disposable cash. Like,
it is. It
you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay for food, you don't have to pay for power, you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi, you don't have to pay for anything. Like, take it as such a good opportunity to either save, whether that be if you want to go into uni or something like that later on in life that you maybe, exactly. Like, having your own money that is yours is so nice. I wouldn't know a lot about that recently, but that's fine. I'm kidding. But like, having your own money is just so good, and I think it is like a really good feeling of like independence.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like not having to like ask your parents for money when you want to do something.
Exactly. Like, and even if it doesn't, you don't have to be like whipping out 20-hour weeks every week or anything like that. Even just like one
even if it's
shift.
Just one shift, one day a week, a few hours a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like 5 to 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
Like that is something.
Yeah, like 1 to 2 2 short shifts or like one long shift. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is
Because it's easy when you get out of high school and you have to pay for actual things. You forget this, but like $100 a week if you don't have any like expenses.
That's so much
a lot of money.
Well,
and you only have to work. That's like 6 hours.
Even now, if I had like $100 of disposable cash I could use over the week, like obviously I could spend it, but like as a rule of thumb, if I just went about my week, I would not spend that 100.
Yeah.
I like in just like expenses throughout the week, like I would not spend over $100.
Yeah.
It is a really good thing. So, I mean, we could do like an episode later on like sort of applying for jobs and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, we do have an article floating around somewhere of how to write a CV and cover letter.
Yeah, I believe so.
So we could add that in the comments.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check that out, it is definitely really helpful, and having a good CV or having a good cover letter can really be like make a big difference.
Yeah,
100%. So, actually, I'm just gonna yarn for a bit.
Okay. Like getting it, and you can definitely like feel a lot of like accomplishment from like having a job, because it's like another like major facet of life. People like you're getting paid to be there, and like it's just like even like you can derive like a certain level of accomplishment in any job as well, like just like by like being there and like showing up and like not getting fired, like you're accomplishing something like every day. And it's definitely it's a good experience, like no matter what the job is. Like it's a good experience to like work. And like even if you're like doing something just like, something like, I don't know, like retail, like whatever, hospital, like I'd encourage you to just like use it as an opportunity to like learn a bit about like the wider context of that business, because like you have no idea, like most businesses are like fundamentally the same. Like expenses, costs, you need customers, and like stuff like that, and you can like transfer that kind of like general knowledge across like any industry, any job, and just like knowing a little bit about that like can help you grow a lot.
Sorry, I just really have to stretch. But one thing also on top of that, I am so sorry. This feels so good. Anyway, okay. One other thing I would like to say in working, especially for people who get their first jobs, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be retail or hospo, and it'll 10 out of 10 make you a better person. Just for the simple fact that you know how crappy other people are. Nothing makes you a more considerate person than knowing how, than having gone through what retail and hospo workers go through. And for anyone who doesn't know, just be polite, just be nice, please. You're doing your best, please.
I actually frequently abuse wait staff. That's kind of my thing.
Are you Sharon? And do you want to speak to the manager?
Yeah, I always want to speak to the
manager.
No, I'm like the most non-confrontational person.
Yeah, but the thing is...
But I totally agree with what you're saying.
You get so much further with people if you're going to be polite and courteous and understanding than if you come from an aggressive point of view. And as high school students and kids and stuff, I really don't think that's something you guys would do anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
But just understanding the way people react and the way different people are and the way to deal with that is a very valuable skill throughout life.
Oh, exactly. And it's probably one of the first times that you'll experience having to deal with people of all ages in a professional setting. Dealing with your teacher is not in a professional setting really, because you can do whatever you want and you're not going to be punished for it. You are in a position where you are held to some rules and regulations, but you
can't tell someone who comes into a cafe and makes heaps of weird requests to F off.
It's just as much
you
as
have
you
to
want to
deal with it. Yeah. Actually, great example. This morning I was at Subway, and the woman in front of me in the queue didn't speak much English, but the patience that the person at Subway had to just keep asking questions and go about it, being able to just be so adaptive to situations like that and not get stressed out by them.
It's an exercise of patience, and I think it is one of those things you definitely become at least a more considerate or a more understanding person from it, because you will 100% interact with so many more people than you even like, or so many different kind of personalities and stuff that you didn't even think existed. Like, you will definitely have some interactions that you'll leave and be like, I don't know what just happened. 100%. That's my spiel on jobs. Last thing that someone mentioned, I was just checking the IG to see if there was any new questions.
Good.
Somebody just said, mentioning wanting to hang out with closer friends and stuff like that, and making more of time for social life and the other people in your life. And I think that is really worthwhile. And while you do hang out with a lot of your friends while you are at school, I think it is really good to take it out of that setting and be able to have interactions with people and people you value in your life outside of
skill
compulsory setting.
Yeah, where you have to be there. And
compulsory was the word that I was.
No, definitely. Your weekends are probably free. Your evenings are probably free.
Yeah.
Make time and actually organize stuff.
Yeah. And I'm definitely one of these people, which is why I can say it with the utmost honesty. If you are one of those kind of people that flakes a lot, or tries to give yourself excuses not to go to do things, I would just really recommend that you try to overcome that and really just force yourself to even just get out the door, because you'll always be glad that you went. You'll always 100% be glad that...
be more spontaneous as well.
I am so much better with spontaneous stuff than I am planned in advance.
Interesting.
Ask me to hang out 5 days in advance and that gives me 5 days to think of an excuse.
Interesting. No, I try to see someone every weekend.
Yeah.
I actively make an effort. On Thursday or Friday, I'll see when I'm free this weekend, and I'll hit up 3 people and see if they're keen to do something.
Yeah, exactly. And making that time can be really, really good, and it gives you a chance to have better personal connections with people, which is always good. We are sociable creatures, inherently. But yeah, it is really good for so many reasons. And,
no, absolutely.
If any of these kind of things, even if they weren't already things that were in your head that you wanted to do, but if any of this resonated with you, would 100% recommend really trying to make an effort to pursue other things in your life outside of school that make you happy or you think will contribute to the betterment of yourself.
Yeah.
I know for myself, one of the things I told myself I wanted to really do this year was pick up my French again, because I learned it for a year and then just stopped. And I still have workbooks and I still have all that kind of stuff there. And while I won't be graded on anything, or it will be entirely in my own time, and so the pace would obviously be slower because it's going to be more casual because there wouldn't be as much pressure, I just feel that's something that I would really like to do and a skill that I would really like to gain. And that's something that I think people can do as well, whether that be learning to drive, learning another language, learning how to cook something, or any of that kind of stuff. All of these contribute to your personality, and they can't be graded in the school setting, but that doesn't mean that they're any less worthwhile.
Yeah, and there's one other thing that's it's very easy to embrace novelty and keep trying to learn new skills, which is cool. One thing that is also really undervalued is doubling down on something you already know.
Perseverance.
So if you say you're say you play cricket. Substituting nuance for novelty and really trying to say you're better and really trying to fine tune that and really get in deep with the nuances of that. If you do if you make videos, or if you do photography, really saying I really want to learn how the HSL sliders work and how to play with color in different ways, and try to substitute that nuance, that real fine detail in a skill you already know, rather than picking up new things all the time as well.
And I think with that as well, while you may be technically learning less, because the way that we learn things is a time where over a short period of time you learn a lot, and then after that when it sort of goes into mastery of fine tuning, there's much less progress but over a longer period of time.
The speed isn't as rapid. But
and that's where a lot of people stop, but I genuinely do think that that's where the most satisfaction lies.
Absolutely.
It's that whole jack of all trades, master of none type set.
Yeah, and if you want to apply this to the career world, that's literally the difference between people who make $20 an hour and $200 an hour.
Yeah,
is this 10% of refinement that actually takes 10 years to do. Yeah.
Thank you for turning to capitalism.
I love capitalism. I love money. That's what I'm all about.
I know it's not, so I can laugh at it. But yeah, no, exactly. And so, yeah, like, try something new. And, you know, if you find something that you do really enjoy, then, like, pursue that. And even if that doesn't give you any sort of external gratification, you should be doing these kind of things for yourself anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I do not.
Awesome. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any favourite bits from today's show, you should comment the timestamps below. We're on Spotify now, that's the thing.
That exists.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks again,
Have a marvellous week ahead.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Yeah, bye.
See you guys.
Cool. What can we do for a thumbnail? It's not like in like 2 minutes. Do we go for like the beanie pull? Is that
We
like
love a
good
beanie
look?
pull.
But this is about feeling accomplished. Maybe that's not the right vibe. I don't know what the right vibe is though.
Yeah, no, neither. I'm just trying to think of like, do we have anything lying around that we can like very easily like make it look like there's something mastery involved?
Accomplishment. Do we have any like paintings?
Maybe just get that thumbnail of me stretching.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I was kidding, but I like that.
Let's just have like a one more option. Yeah, okay, cool.